Kevin O'Connell was ranked 32nd amongst NFL head coaches. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Minnesota Vikings Syndicate. This is a show for the fans, by a fan. I'm your host, Trey Wicks. Let's get right to it. Kevin O'Connell was just ranked 32nd amongst NFL head coaches, and that baffles me. Okay, that does not sit well with me, and I hope it doesn't sit well with you guys either, because I do not believe he is the worst head coach in the National Football League, being that he is a rookie, okay? But there are also 9 other rookie head coaches in the NFL. Let's run right through them real quick, shall we? Look, here are the 10, including Kevin O'Connell. The first being Bears' Matt Eberflus, who comes over from the Indianapolis Colts. What did the Colts do last season? Yeah, exactly. They missed the playoffs. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval City, who were wearing a bunch of clown costumes. You tell me if Kevin O'Connell's better than him. I believe so. Just won a Super Bowl. Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett comes over from the Green Bay Packers, has multiple early exits from that NFC Championship game. We moved down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Todd Bowles. Now, this guy you could obviously put in front of Kevin O'Connell because he's been there, done that. He's won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. He might deserve to be ahead of Kevin O'Connell. The Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, same here. This guy looks like he has a high motor. I'm excited to see what he can do for the Dolphins. But look, Kevin O'Connell, Mike McDaniel, who just got done winning a Super Bowl? Kevin O'Connell, okay. Probably should put him above there. Giants, Brian Daboll comes over from the Buffalo Bills. Look, the Buffalo Bills have been on a tear as of recent, at least the past couple years. Brian Daboll is definitely an influential part of that. But has he won a Super Bowl? Interesting. Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson. Now, you can put Doug Peterson ahead of Kevin O'Connell. At least you should put him above Kevin O'Connell because, look, he's won a Super Bowl as a head coach in the National Football League. So right then and there, you kind of have that, he's definitely a little bit better at this point in time, but now he's head coach of Jacksonville Jaguars, who have historically not really been that good. Move down the list, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, in which they have Josh McDaniels as a head coach. And he's already been a head coach in the NFL. Head coach of the Denver Broncos. Was fired very, very abruptly over there. So you tell me if Kevin O'Connell would make a better head coach. Who knows? I guess you could say that Josh McDaniels has the experience. But can you rely on that experience? I don't know. That's for you to decide. Then the Saints. They promote Dennis Allen. He's won a Super Bowl with them. He was actually their head coach, or their interim head coach, the year after they got done winning the 2009 Super Bowl, which for Vikings fans, look, awful season. 2009 is definitely ingrained in our brains and will be forever. So, yeah. Then the Houston Texans, Lovie Smith. You're telling me Lovie Smith is a better head coach than Kevin O'Connell? Yeah, he was the head coach of the Chicago Bears way back when, but it's been some time since he has had that head coaching position. Kevin O'Connell, again, just won a Super Bowl. So you tell me, is Kevin O'Connell better than any of these coaches? I say yes. There's a couple of them that probably not, at least at this point in his career. I would definitely put Doug Peterson above him just because he won a Super Bowl as a head coach. You could say Todd Bowles is about even keel with him, but he also won a Super Bowl. But Kevin O'Connell has done more things than a couple of these head coaches. So the reason that it doesn't sit well with me that he's ranked 32nd is because, look, just got done winning a Super Bowl, like I've mentioned multiple times. Okay, that is huge. That is very, very hard to do and to accomplish, and he did so. Now, look, he didn't call the offensive plays for the Los Angeles Rams, but you forget that he was the mastermind behind the entire offensive playbook. He created that offensive playbook. The one where we got to see Cooper Kupp win the Triple Crown. He could do that for Justin Jefferson in a blink of an eye, super quickly. He has the perfect setup on offense for the Minnesota Vikings with the Kirk Cousins, the Dalvin Cook, the Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I can go on and on. His offense is perfect for him. He's changed it up. Justin Jefferson said, look, This isn't a run-first offense. This is a pass-first offense now. And it should be. Being an offensive-minded head coach, let's open up that pass book a little bit and gun it downfield, basically. But Kevin O'Connell is definitely not 32nd overall. And Mike Kay, who actually ranked all the head coaches, had this to say about Kevin O'Connell. He wrote that Kevin O'Connell, despite being a former NFL quarterback and coordinator, is the mystery man among the head coaching ranks. While the Vikings kept their roster mostly in place, O'Connell will clearly bring his own ideas to the table. O'Connell is a true wild card for better or worse. Well, you put him at 32nd overall, you're thinking worse, okay? And let me tell you something. Any head coach that gets a job, or any new head coaches in the NFL, are definitely going to bring their own ideas in, okay? Like, they ain't going to stick with what once was. You don't see Kevin O'Connell stepping into the head coaching position being like, hey, what was Zimmer's playbook? Can I have that? Perfect. This is what we're going to roll with, okay? The entire season. Not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Of course he's going to be a wild card. All 9 or all 10 new head coaches are going to bring their own ideas in and are going to be wild cards of their own. You don't know what they are going to bring to the table. But what I do know is that Kevin O'Connell is not the worst head coach in the National Football League. He has a great opportunity here in Minnesota, a team, an offense in which was built perfectly for an offensive-minded head coach. The defensive side of things, he doesn't necessarily have to worry about. He has his defensive coordinator to work on that. The defense will come. The offense just needs to be explosive and consistent and make plays and hopefully win us ball games. And I believe Kevin O'Connell is going to win us ball games. Plain and simple. We've seen what he did with the Los Angeles Rams. He won a Super Bowl. We've talked about it. And here is actually what Associated Press's Greg Beacham had to say about newly acquired Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. He said, the thing about Kevin O'Connell is he's been at the controls of the Rams offense in almost every way, except actually calling the plays for 2 years, which makes him a guy who's seen what Sean McVay does and what makes the Rams so successful over the past 5 years. Beacham said in an interview with DenverBroncos.com. And there's only a handful of guys in the world who can say that. 3 of the other assistants who can say that are currently head coaches of their own teams, and 2 are still in the playoffs along with Sean McVay. So the pedigree is impeccable. There's no doubt that Kevin is the next guy in that lineage. Now, he was reporting this actually during the playoffs when the playoffs were happening. But for somebody to say that, basically saying, yeah, Kevin O'Connell's next up. He needs to get a head coaching job. This man knows exactly what he's doing. Just tells me right then and there, before he was even a candidate, he is not the worst head coach in the National Football League. Cool, he didn't call their plays. But he got to see firsthand how Sean McVay called the plays. He created all those plays and made the Rams offense a complete powerhouse in which they ended up hosting the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the season. So you tell me in the comments if Kevin O'Connell is the worst coach in the National Football League, because I don't believe so, and I hope you guys don't believe so either, because he's definitely not. Dude won a Super Bowl, and there's a couple of those head coaches on that list that I just showed you that haven't done diddly squat. So, hey, you tell me if he's last in the NFL in the comments, because I don't believe he is. So go check out the Get Your Fix with the Wicks show at 6 p.m. Central Time. It's on YouTube. We'll talk about the entire NFL there. So last but not least, Skull Vikes, baby. Have a great one.